Match number 2 is ThorZaIN versus Spiral. By my side, a team member of Mr. Spiral, the winner of W3IL. That was the grand final. Sweden versus Oceanus. WaN, who's your pick in this best of 5?
Oh, tough task once again. I thought about it like a couple of days ago, but I think I said 3-2 for ThorZaIN though.
Ooh, betraying your brother.
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's the matchup also. I know that you guys don't really like to talk about the balance things and stuff, but I think right now that human against orc is also maybe one of the toughest matchup for orcs, especially for orcs. And I know that Spiral is really, really good against human though, but yeah.
You just have to play as well as Focus and Lin, dude. What's the problem? just play like Focus and Lin.
Yeah, just play like Happy.
Just play exactly. What do you mean that is not competitive? Just play like Happy.
In there.
We have the map picks and bans already here on stream. ThorZaIN gets rid of Twisted. Spiral gets rid of Last Refuge. First map is going to be Terraner Stand, picked by ThorZaIN. Your thoughts?
Sorry, Terraner Stand picked. It's a. I'm actually surprised that he didn't veto it. It's probably one of the worst map, I think, for orcs. What I've heard so far from Spiral, like whenever we tried to seat him on Terraner Stand, he was always afraid of playing orcs there. So it's definitely not the greatest map so far for him starting this best of 5, I would say.
You said you played against ThorZaIN quite a bit, so does ThorZaIN also play Netties then?
Now and then, yeah. He doesn't really play as much as Effect, for example. That is also one of his team members, for those who don't know him. But yeah, I've seen him playing some NetEase here and there, but he never really plays that much so that he will end up being top rank 50 or something. I think he's just a guy who just likes to play here and there, but not really that much. Maybe also due to his job in the future, I think. I'm not too sure, like, if he's already doing his work as a doctor, but yeah, I think I can just imagine that it consumes a lot of time.
Yeah, I think he is working already, so
yeah.
But he says he has every Saturday off, apparently, or he can make some room for W League. And ThorZaIN, one of the 4 invited players. It's usually the top 4 in Europe are pretty clear, I guess. It's Happy, Cash, Hawk, and Foggy. Foggy did decide to play the Chinese league. So is ThorZaIN at the 4th place the right decision? As the 4th best player?
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely. On a high level, yes, yeah.
It's always baffling. It seems like he's not preparing so much. Yeah.
Yeah, because I still have my sandwich in the maker. But you can keep speaking. I have wireless headset, so I can still hear you and talk.
Damn, that technology in the 21st century here, man.
Damn.
It always feels like ThorZaIN doesn't need much practice. He I think he just plays like an hour and then he's back on his level again.
Yeah, it seems really unfair. It seems really, really unfair.
Yeah, oh wait, let me change the mic.
Yep. There are just a few people actually that have this kind of skill. Besides ThorZaIN, I would put Xlot in there.
Absolutely.
And I was always jealous of these people that just came back and somehow had the same shape like 10 years ago. So yeah.
I think with Xlot it took a little while though. I remember when he started coming back to W3 Arena, when I was still able to take games of him, and it really took him a while to get back into tip-top shape, but I mean, ever since Iron Couch, we all saw how good he can be.
Yeah, well, since Iron Couch, I also got better contacts, basically, or well, usually now with him. There's like a thing going on between us, or like with Enter, where he usually says that he never really practiced much for the tournament, and I think he just said the same offline. But he did play a little bit on Netties, for example. So yeah, but nevertheless, there's his skill is still on top if he even didn't really play for, let's say, for a month or so, because I also know that he had a couple of breaks on Battle.net where he didn't really continue playing. But whenever he started playing again or feel like playing again, he was always in the same shape, I would say. I think it was just more of a meta question, like if he knows what the current meta is, something changed, patches were also hitting the live server, so it kind of threw like all of us back because the entire meta has changed.
And Exod, of course, we're also going to be seeing not today. That's going to be on Playday 2, where he's going to be playing against Hawk. But now we continue with our next game, the last game of the evening. Spiral versus ThorZaIN. Second match tonight of W League. Best of 5 again. Our first map, Terrana Stand. And as I do my intro, they're actually pausing.
They're actually pausing indeed. ThorZaIN from Sweden, of course, one of the MVPs of the W3IL, wasn't enough in the end to grab the championship because of the performances of the likes of WaN and Spiral, for example. The Doctor, he defeated Spiral the last time they played. That was in the MTW Legendary Cup qualifier number 2 in March. It was a 2-1. It was pretty damn close. In the end, ThorZaIN didn't qualify. Spiral didn't qualify. So it's rematch time right now. Not too much evidence here who really is the better player. Who's better prepared, though? Do you know, Juan, if Spiral practiced for this league? I mean, there were a lot of cups going on recently, so maybe not that much time.
Yeah, but I know that he plays some NetEase. I don't really think he has practice in particular for this league right now, or for ThorZaIN, I think. Yeah, but they're gonna restart anyways.
Right.
But yeah, I don't really think he has practiced in particular just for ThorZaIN right now, or for this matchup. But just like Spiral, just like ThorZaIN and Xlord, I also think that Spiral can just play a couple, just don't play like a couple of games and still he won't lose his shape.
I always feel like Spiral is extremely good and extremely talented, but at the moment he's still missing consistency to break through the next level of play. Like, he gets great results against, I don't know, who was the last big win of Spiral, where I was quite baffled that that happened. I'm tripping here. I think he defeated Xlord 2-0, and it was always really close against Foggy as well, like 1-2, 3-2, etc. But yeah. I feel like he's still missing this little consistency in those matches.
Yeah, I know that he tilts, and that's like one thing that if he starts tilting, for example, I think he had like one, I'm not sure if you saw it, but he had like one specific game against Foggy on Northern Isle. It isn't even like that long ago, like I think like 2 weeks or so. And that game was totally in favor for Spiral, but for some reason he just lost his Blade Master to just like a couple of tier 1 units in the end, where his Blade Master was like level 6 or 5 or something.
Wasn't
after
that the end game Gear Masters qualifier?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
and he threw the entire game, and after that he just said like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I lost this game. And from that, everything just went downhill. Yeah, because I mean, if you're leading that hard and you throw it away, I kind of understand that you're going through like a mental break in that moment. But that's also, if you're trying to stay competitive or you want to play on a high competitive level, you have to like cross this line so that you won't start tilting, because it will just drastically it won't help you at all. That's the problem, you know. So it's something that you have to get through it.
What would be your advice against that? Is it something you can learn somehow?
You do, if you have a game like that, especially games like this, you shouldn't really think much about it. Otherwise, you will just, because it's something that I've experienced myself many times, where I lost games that I should have won. But if you go in like in a second game with no huge breaks in between, you will still think about the previous game while you're already playing the second game. So the other guy might already think about the next step while you are still one way behind mentally, you know? So you're not even on the same level at that moment, and therefore you're already playing at least mindset games or from a mind games one level behind, if you still think about the previous game. So just complete it. Don't think about it. You can basically think about it after the best of 3 or the games are over, but don't let this kind of anger hit you.
I think that's something we see, for example, from Moon and also 120, where after games they take a lot of time to join the lobby again.
Yeah.
So that's something like a bit of a mental warfare
Yeah,
that regard, I think as well.
people should. I mean, people underestimate mental things in competitive games. It's actually the last time I experienced that was just recently when I played against Xlord, also for the EGG. I remember that we were both in the lobby, and this guy, even though I like him, he kind of pissed me off because it took him like 5 minutes when he was waiting in the lobby, and my legs were shaking. I wouldn't say shaking because of nervosity, but I was waiting for him. I thought, like, when are you coming back? You know. So yeah, it took him like 5 minutes, and after the first game, he went FK again for like 3 minutes or 4 minutes because he had to go to the toilet, and I thought like he kind of dumped himself down the toilet because he never really came back in time after 3 minutes. So yeah, even those little things are kind of, I wouldn't say mind games, but Xlord has some quite history, I would say, or success in his past, so he knows how things might trigger people, and I wouldn't say like he's
totally
playing
see
with
that
them.
from him. Being
Yeah, he knows how to
Totally.
maybe tilt people and stuff, and yeah, mind games has always been, at least in competitive games, mind games has always been a huge factor, actually.
Yeah, absolutely agree. To the earlier point, though, this is something you hear from competitive athletes or pro gamers alike. It's like you should really try to, leave the past in the past and just take it one step at a time and don't get hung up, especially on losses. But at the end of the day, this is just something you can say to yourself, right? You can try to convince yourself, all right, leave this game behind you. But at the end of the day, you can't fully control it. Sometimes it will pop back into your mind, and sometimes it won't, and it depends on, I don't know, how little you can care. Did you follow StarCraft 2 back then? Were you familiar with Fano?
I did. I mean, Idra is like the best example. Like, he could never really control it.
He's the negative example. When Stefano, for example, said he thought that was one of his biggest strengths. For him, he played every game kind of like a robot, completely emotionlessly, like without any investment. He said like he deliberately tries not to care at all, and apparently he succeeded with that, and just took it, like playing any game, just not caring about the stakes or anything at all.
Yeah. But how do you do that when, like, let's say there's $1,000 on the line and it comes down to 2 maps and it's $1,000?
I don't really know how you do it. I think it has, I think it even has something to do that goes a little bit deeper, like psychology-wise. I think it has also something to do with the nature of your own, like how you react to certain things in life. And yeah, I mean, just like I said, it's a deep topic. Yeah. It's hard to say how you can change your own behavior because you have to work on yourself. So I, for example, learned that if you feel anger in a game, especially in a video game, it won't make you better. It will actually even tilt you even more, and therefore you will eventually lose more games afterwards. So yeah, that was basically my lesson, and I tried to change it, and I think I did like the best outcome of it.
Seems like that to me most as well. Like when you get upset about something, normally it doesn't really help you to improve or to perform better. But that may not be the case for every single person out there. We actually earlier talked about Super Smash Bros. There's this one guy called Mango who is famous for when he gets pissed off, for example, at the crowd or whatever. When you piss him off, he actually plays his best.
Yeah.
Is what they always say about him. So maybe that's also different for different people,
Maybe they will start thinking different. Maybe the adrenaline will hype them a little bit.
No? They become like full anime, they get like, and they get super pissed, and then they go Super
Saiyajin Mango.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Spiral is still rebooting. He should be back here soon. Apparently, takes a while for his.
So what are your guesses, by the way? We just spoke about mine, but what do you both think? Who will win?
It's so hard. I'm super torn. I can say that I expect a 3-2 here, but I have no idea in what direction it will go. I would say Spiral wins.
Okay.
I'm with ThorZaIN.
So we have like 2 guys for ThorZaIN. What do you think the score for ThorZaIN? Remo?
3-1.
3-1. Okay.
But
So you don't think it will be that close?
I mean, it could be, but yeah, my gut feeling would be 3-1. I think Spiral Strike gonna try to run in there with a TC with the Lightning Shield, and ThorZaIN's gonna throw a hammer in his face. It's gonna be like, no! And then ThorZaIN somehow plays as well as he can, despite not practicing that much, and we're gonna be amazed. That's what I'm expecting.
I saw on Twitter that Todd was offering some help to Spiral.
Yeah.
Do you know if that came to something?
No, I don't think they played. We talked about it a little bit. Like, what did Spyro say? Like, I think he felt kind of in a sandwich situation after that. Because he said, if he plays against Todd some custom games and Spyro will win, then Todd will get mad and will never play against him ever. But if he also refuses to play, then it will also get into Todd's head and something. So I don't actually know like how they both ended up in that situation, if they actually did custom games together. But Spiral never told me that they practiced together, so I don't really think they did.
How do you
How
guys
is-
at Oceanist do it, by the way, with custom games? Do you regularly meet up and play custom games against each other? Or?
Yeah. So after Iron Couch, and well, you guys have also been there. We are like sitting in a TeamSpeak all together. So there are like many people that I already know from 10 years ago, which is like such as Enter, and we kind of picked up, well, I wouldn't say we picked up Xlord because he came to us basically, which is also really nice to see that he also cared about the German scene. So he's also joining in the TeamSpeak or Discord now and then, almost every single day. And Spiral's also there, and sometimes we ask for CGs or custom games. And yeah, sometimes we just play games with each other. Sometimes I practice with Enter. Sometimes Enter plays against Xlord. Sometimes Xlord plays with Spiral. So it has become a really small community between all of us. And we still keep talking. I know that they're both in Osnabrück right now, so they are also playing that other tournament right now. But yeah, it's really nice to see that still custom games are actually a big deal. Even in Moscow, after my game against Foggy, we talked a little bit about the game, what we could or what I could especially improve after that situation. And he also, or I kind of offered him like custom games to improve. And he also said that custom games are the better choice to improve yourself, which I agree with.
The game's up, by the way, Juan. You can
Okay.
come
Yeah.
on in.
Yeah.
So of course the big question is, since you are such good buddies now, will Xlord join Oceanist for W3IL?
Well, it's not a secret. I mean, we thought about it to pick him up, but I wouldn't say like a side blocked the spot or something, because we've got already like 300s in our team. Race-wise, I could also say I don't really care if he's gonna join as well as an unit or not, but I also know that he's working a lot during the week. He worked so hard in the last months that he actually got like 1.5 month off from work just because of working
Damn.
too many hours. Yeah, that's actually, it wasn't even like 2 weeks. It was like 6 weeks from just from working too many hours.
That's
I've
pretty
never
sick.
heard of that before. So
Me
yeah, he
neither.
had actually like almost 1.5 months off from work and practiced a lot of games. That's what I at least know. But yeah, Xlord said he doesn't really want to join a team right now, which I can totally understand from his side. He knows that how the game, the competitive scene actually works. He might wait for Reforge a little bit to see if the game gets more hyped up. Maybe big names will come back into the scene. No one knows. And therefore, it could be a nice chance also for him to get picked up by maybe an old traditional team. We never know. Like maybe most sports will come back. Maybe SK. No one knows.
To that, we know that we have a game and it's finally working. Spiral from Oceanist in the bottom right as an orc in yellow from Sweden. It's ThorZaIN. Spiral pauses the game again. Same situation as last time. Didn't quite help apparently.
Okay. The good man needs a new router, it seems.
Unfortunately, we don't really have the time to postpone.
Maybe you can still fix this issue. Did he have that before? I don't know. I think this is the first time this is occurring.
I think,
right?
yeah, I think it's the first time. I've never heard of it. Of him, at least, that he experienced these kind of problems.
Something that I wanted to put you on the spot on about, by the way, Juan, and now that we have a bit of time. From all you Oceanist boys, you have to give me...
We are both on the same level.
Okay, cool. High praise for Spyro, who hopefully we're going to see.
We see him now as the game continues. Finally. So, ThorZaIN still in the upper left, Spiral still in the bottom right. Yeah, there still seems to be some issues with Spiral, but yeah, due to the schedule of this league, we don't really have the time to postpone too much. And yeah, not because of that. We have a Farseer, of course. Spiral, that's like his signature hero. I feel this is what made him famous, especially in combination with some lightning shields. And it's working really, really well. Like, was he ever a Blade Master player in the past? Or how did this work? Like, it's so rare to see an orc going Farseer only.
I know that back in the days, before the Farseer buff, I know that he always played Blade Master. Maybe a few matchups, or depending on the situation, he preferred the Farseer. But I think before the Farseer buff, he almost only played Blade Master.
All right. And this is something you can do pretty much only with the Farseer. Lightning shield creep right there, but ThorZaIN sees it right away with the Scout Footman. He's going for a fast expansion, it seems. At least he's going for his own expansion there. Can he get some last hits, is the question.
It'd be really annoying if ThorZaIN was able to steal the last hit, or didn't get the last hit, or also the Shadow Priest, but not enough resources. ThorZaIN going for the instant expansion, which is so unusual. Normally, especially on TS, you will always want to incorporate the Mercap. It's so easy to creep, it's so much experience, and it's mercenary support after. But ThorZaIN not giving any relevance to this mercenary camp.
Yeah, maybe he predicted it, that the Spiral will go for the fast creep Merc camp, and it will take a lot of damage on the grunt and the Farseer, so I think it's kind of a coin flip. And in this case, I actually think that ThorZaIN won that kind of coin flip, but the question is, can he actually hold the
what can he really accomplish here? Like, he's moving south and like...
Well, with no mana and 2 footmans, or 3, not really much.
Yeah, so I feel... I don't know about this opening so much. So he's pressuring the grunts a little bit, but with speed scroll, there's never really any way that you're going to be finding the kill. And peasants... Man, this early game is not working out. Not even the resources were enough to go for the power build. This is all a little bit weird. Can I go back on my prediction?
No. That's it. It's still now, man. We have the Chain Lightning coming in, plus 6 damage of the 2 mantles, and a lot of Chain Lightning. He is the Thunder God, but ThorZaIN, we've seen a couple of surrounds in some games against a certain undead. I'm not too sure who that was. So he is really good with the encirclements.
It wasn't me bringing up this time. It wasn't me.
Well, it had to be one of you guys.
Of course.
Yeah,
that's what you're here for. That's what you get paid for.
I didn't even realize this until you said it. His inventory is insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely batshit insane.
The best.
So he needs 3 more peasants for level 3. That is absolutely in the cards. Especially with having taken out the tower earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he's close to level 3, while ThorZaIN is still stuck on almost, well, at the beginning of level 2. And, well, even if this tower comes up, I think ThorZaIN will still have a hard time to defend that, because his Archmage also keeps getting pretty low. He tries to... Oh, what a nice round. At least I'm not the only one who's gonna experience that now. Trust me.
Oh, the lightning shield!
Triggers the lightning shield from the creeps!
God,
oh
how
my god!
great was that move by Spiral?
Holy shit!
Get me out of here. I think that's what... I think I've seen a lot, but I think this was one of the smartest moves I've ever seen in Warcraft 3 so far. Trust me.
That was insane. Alright, 1 kill for the level 3. Easy Chain Lightning, easy last hits. Good thing the Arcane Tower is here. Okay, actually ThorZaIN does kind of a little bit salvage this. There's probably gonna have to be a TP out from the Farseer.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to make sure that he gets as much as possible before he TPs out, and he even got 3 peons, and that Archmage has to even make sure that he stays alive. But yeah, 3 peons, expo delayed. His tier 2 tech will be done in like in a few seconds, and ThorZaIN should be still on tier 1. Will be pretty tough. Actually wondering if Spiral will go for like a double beastry with Wyvern if he knows that the towers won't come up in time. Especially if you take a look in ThorZaIN's main. There's no lumber mill, so
yeah.
no chance to get any kind of guard towers up here. And I think even with a double beastry, he might be in a very good position here, but also kind of risky against Archmage due to the water elementals. But yeah, level 2.
It's only level 2 indeed, and
Yeah.
I think he could fare with this pretty easily, especially if he goes more mercenaries. Oh, goes Panda here.
Panda
He
second.
definitely wants to do more damage to the Echo. Double AoE is gonna be so good. Oh my god.
Oh, that creep jack though. Oh damn. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Gonna get the over strength as well.
I think it's
GG.
Wow!
6 minutes.
Somebody call an ambulance, man. The doctor needs one.
Yeah.
I think OCG is just trying to prove that we are still the #1 here in Europe.
Yeah, that was an impressive statement. Holy shit, this Spiral dude. He keeps on impressing me. I thought, okay, he got that ceiling now where I'm used to seeing him in a great shape with great moves. But god damn it, that was just
Some sick placement.
yeah.
That was really well done. But also, this early game was like really sketchy. Like instant expansion in the first place, in my opinion, is not the right build. But okay, you can go for it. But then he mismanaged his resources so much that this expansion was extremely late, way too late.
Yeah. He just ended up with the Arcane Tower. The expo just got delayed way too much. I think by going to the Merc camp of Spiral, he probably tried to win some time because of that mistake. But, well, I also think he kind of expected to meet or like face more low HP units or maybe heroes. But that wasn't really the case. Not really much for him to do, especially against Mercs when he didn't creep his own Merc camp in this case. And
yeah, this is normally the reason why humans like this map so much. Terranos Stand is normally their go-to place because of easy expansion and easy Merc camp. So I can't help but feel that, ThorZaIN didn't utilize one of the best things about this map for himself.
Maybe he just wanted to play, like, to surprise and play something different off meta. Because that could definitely set the tone for the series, I feel. Like, we had that in the series of ThorZaIN versus Happy, where he just kept on playing different stuff that wasn't the standard, so his opponent always has to think about, like, okay, what's he doing now? What special trick does he have now? Maybe that was playing a part there as well.
I guess there's always an argument to be made if you play outside the norm. It can catch your opponent off guard. But I don't know. I'm not a risk taker, Neo. I go for the safe play. I go for the best play, and that's reliable. What ThorZaIN did there was not reliable.
Yeah, but as we talked about earlier, some people would probably tilt after that first game, maybe because it didn't really went just like ThorZaIN would expect. But I wouldn't really rate him as a kind of player that would tilt him as much right now or that much in this specific case. And I think ThorZaIN will definitely go clear-minded into the second game, since we are still waiting for Spiral here, trying to solve his router issues once again.
So the vetoes were TM and LR, right?
Yeah. That is correct, Remo. So Terranas is out as well. This leaves us with Amazonia, Concealed Hill, Echo Isles, and Northern Isles. ThorZaIN's map choice now.
Yeah, I probably think we won't see Concealed Hill. Definitely not the best human map in regarding like every single matchup. So Echo Isle might be another chance.
Yeah. And he knows he's going to be facing a Farseer, so where's Farseer also a little obnoxious? Northern Isles, I guess, because usually he always runs across.
Yeah.
And harasses you first, although that has changed somewhat recently. Echo Isle should be, I guess, a pretty solid place to go to. Usually pretty easy to defend against Farseer. But also that hard for level 3.
Yeah, also humans can actually easily take the Merc camp.
Why didn't Spiral veto AZ, by the way? Isn't AZ like the best map for human?
I would even go as far and think that still Torino stand is actually pretty decent for humans.
Turnus. Yeah, I think also Turnus.
But yeah, also Amazonia is. I know that from the past that he doesn't really like to play AZ even against undeads from time. So it's definitely not the best map, especially against human. That's true. But with the new, or well, I wouldn't say new, but the discovery of lightning shield creeping for every race nowadays, orcs will just play and stick to the Fasir and just get that easy level 2 as well now.
Did you guys see that apparently someone found out how to trigger the lightning shield with melee units?
Yeah.
I think
you know how that works
I think
now?
Grubby tried it, I think, right? On the
I saw it on Twitter from Grubby as well.
Yeah.
I tried it instantly in a custom game, and it worked. And I was like, "What the hell?" It worked, and then I couldn't replicate it anymore, and then I couldn't do it again. Like weird.
So do you have a reliable way to...
I didn't really see it, so I don't really know like how it works. I just saw the picture that 3 melee units are like standing close to each other, just like usually. But the way they pull for the lightning shield, I don't really like know how it works, to be honest. If there's like a clip or something, maybe someone in the channel, I don't know.
Yeah, if someone knows,
it would be nice to look through it again. But even though the game has been out like for so many years, people still discover stuff like that even 15 years later.
It's so crazy,
like,
right?
It's so interesting.
I wonder what's next. Like, when was Lin with the rock golem? That was 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And then last year feels like was the rise of the lightning shield creep. This year it was humans dragging out the rock golem. So I wonder what's next. I mean, that could be the next big thing, obviously.
Well, we also saw undeads pulling out the dragon occasionally from time to time on Twisted Meadows until it got changed.
Yeah, true.
People forgot about it, how annoying that is, and almost unbeatable.
Oh yeah, the dragon.
I don't know what my cat is trying to do here. What is wrong with you?
Do you have one cat or do you have more cats?
Oh, I have 2 cats. You know, every undead has to at least have like 1 or 2 cats. I saw 120 stream and I thought if I try to get at least as close as his skill gets, I need to get at least 1 cat or 2.
I mentioned that before as well, Neo. Do you remember?
Yeah,
I have a cat here. Where's your cat, Neo? You need
Yeah.
a cat, then you're gonna be consistently beating Florentine every time.
Maybe I need... Yeah, if that comes along with a little bit of practice from you guys, then that's gonna be great.
Cute.
Too much of attention, I guess.
It's all right. But, I mean, she jumped into the camera. It's kind of her own fault.
Yeah.
For exposing herself.
She'll probably come back.
I
Can you
wonder
see the
if we
other
get
cat? I don't think you
trouble-
can see the other cat, right? Wait, let me show you.
Nope.
I think she's one of the beautiful or most sweetest cat I've ever had or seen so far.
Oh, he's just chilling.
Nice. I wonder if we get in trouble with nudity.
Is it one of those folded ear cats?
Yeah, British British gold fold, something like that. Yeah, I forgot the English word now. Scottish fold, that's the name.
Scottish fold, yeah. They always look a little bit derpy to me.
Yeah, not all of them, but most of them. Yeah.
Spiral is making us wait a little bit here, but
Yep.
he should be returning soon. I guess it's still his router. Is that still the issue?
Yeah, most likely.
I think so.
Ah, there he is.
Ah, he's here.
All right.
Speaking of the devil, finally.
So.
So ThorZaIN map pick now, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of map he's going for.
I think AZ, right? Like.
I think it has to be AZ or Echo Isle. I would be totally surprised if he goes for Concealed Hill now. Oh, Echo.
Echo. Okay.
Is he gonna expand again? Early expansion on Echo against Farseer. That sounds painful. That sounds dangerous.
Definitely.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right. Game is about to be created. 1-0 lead for the German. It's kind of cool to see more and more Germans going deeper in tournaments. I mean, that is the nature of having more European tournaments as well.
Yeah, also the scene getting a little bit bigger days by days or weeks by weeks, years by years. I know that the scene was quite small many years ago.
Yeah.
It's
Have
really
you-
beautiful to see.
Have you stuck with the game throughout all of it? Like, did you take
Almost.
a break? Or...
Yeah, I think before you guys started casting again, there was like many years, literally nothing. I wouldn't say nothing. Like there was at least once a year where the WCA was happening, I think, and before that there was like like one big tournament, and that was it.
Yeah, I think we had Zotac Cups, right? But that was about.
Yeah, we've had like daily cups and stuff, but it wasn't really too big. So also many people that stream nowadays weren't even around. So like for example, you guys weren't even there. Scrubby wasn't even streaming the game. There was no Happy, there was no Todd. So I remember that even I used to stream almost, I wouldn't say 24/7, but I used to stream more back then than now. But also because I didn't really used to work back then. But yeah, the scene has changed so much. Also, that we've had some kind of DDoSer back in the days. Unfortunately, watching the streams and trying to ruin the fun, which kind of, to answer the question of Remo, yeah, it kind of put me into inactivity because there was like Q-Man. Some people might remember his name.
Yep.
Yeah, he DDoSed multiple streamers and actually took the fun out of me. Because I think back then I had a really good thing going on, but yeah.
1-2-0, man. We still remember.
Yeah.
So let's see what ThorZaIN is capable of doing now. He's 1-0 down, needs to strike back, otherwise it's 3 match points for the German, who's starting in the upper right. Is it a Farseer again? Hells yeah, it is. And he's not facing a Mountain King, no Chimiko style, but Archmage.
ThorZaIN not walling off the main base. That always seems dangerous to me. I guess he's gonna wall it off later though. Like what if he runs in there with 2 grunts, level 2 Farseer wolves? That does sound.
I mean, it doesn't
Sounds
really
like almost game 1.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Because the wolves can always enter the main.
Yeah, but like this.
I mean, he's already going for an early tower, so he's definitely
Yeah.
playing more safe now
Yeah.
compared to game number 1.
Absolutely.
He's probably afraid of another Farseer game, and he knows that he's going for Farseer because they used to do some custom games back in the days. So I'm pretty sure that ThorZaIN knows about it, that he likes to play Farseer, especially against human. He saw a couple of games again. Who was it? Effect, I think.
I think so too.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. W3IL finals, even.
Yeah. 2-1, I think it was, or 2-0. No, 2-0. It was actually 2-0. Yeah. So, as you can see, Spyro's already going for the early Harris, while ThorZaIN should be done in time with that creep, so close to level 2, gets the Ring of Protection. Also got slightly buffed. People rather stick with the item now because it gets more value the later the game goes and the more the heroes get pimped.
Yeah. For MK especially.
Certain items. Yeah. Especially in late game. Yep.
Yeah, it's a curse for all undeads, I think, as the orb got nerfed and the armor got buffed in general. But yeah,
but it's still a good item though for your DK. You can stick with it, tank more damage.
Forces are under attack.
So no expansion this time. ThorZaIN so far is dealing with the pressure rather good. The Archmage is still quite healthy. The Arcane Tower is up. Not too much to do for Spiral here, I think. Is he getting that kill? No. He shouldn't. Ooh.
No, he will. He will.
Ooh,
If he clicks in time, he will. Yeah, he did.
One peasant though is manageable. This is something I was wondering about for ThorZaIN. How up to date is he with the meta? Because as we know on NetEase, it's all about the rifles in this matchup currently. And I was wondering, is ThorZaIN on the same page as well? And we do see that apparently he is, as the blacksmith is coming up in the back. I was also surprised to see Spiral last game. He was about to go walkers, but it kind of ended before that, of course. He was all about that lightning shield, all about those shaman. But isn't that predictable anymore with going for walkers nowadays as well against human?
Yeah, especially since he actually likes to play shamans nowadays against human. Like whenever he plays against humans, he rather sticks to Farseer, Torrent Chieftain, Shamans, Purge, Lightning Shield, stuff like that with Chain Wave or Chain Stomp actually. And so far, and back a couple of weeks ago, or even tournament-wise, he definitely had a nice history so far with these games against humans, even though that matchup is currently pretty hard for the orcs. So I'm definitely looking forward to once he hits tier 2, which is right now if he will go for the same strategy.
I think it's still good to mix it up once in a while. Otherwise, you become this one-trick pony who does the same thing over and over and over, and then at one time you're figured out and people know the solution against it.
Yeah, that's true. But as long as you win the games, I mean, you can still stick to it, right?
But it's not bad to practice new stuff before you're figured out.
Yeah, that's true. But for example, like Rich back in the days also used his super standard stuff against every single strategy.
True.
But he was so solid with it that people still struggled against it, even though you knew what's coming. If you face someone that knows how his stuff works, it will be pretty tough to actually somehow get into your enemy's mind or somehow beat him.
So we do see the totem beastery play again with the TC. Seems to be the standard nowadays, even. Like, it became rare to see that
the last
issue.
2 weeks or so, we don't see too much Shaman anymore. And I remember when Focus was playing so insanely well with it, and Lin, I actually asked Spiral himself, hey, what do you think? What makes them decide to go for either Totem or Lodge? And Spiral was like, I don't know, man. I can't tell you. So he didn't have the answer there either. But yeah, he is going with those walkers. I still think Spiritling is like insanely strong, and in this matchup, with this meta rather, there's going to be no breakers to steal the Spiritling. There's usually not enough dispel on the priest to reliably dispel it all the time. And if you have Spiritling running, and if you can make use of those heal scrolls, that tier 2 orc army is fearsome.
Definitely. But it also, you have to make sure that the MK, for example, and the Archmage won't get too much of levels. Otherwise, Clap Blizzard will just entirely control your whole army most of the time.
So it feels like this is the patented ThorZaIN tier 2 expansion. He's playing this in a lot of matchups.
Oh, really? Yeah, he really likes to play
He
that
really
strategy.
likes it. He's one of the very few people who does it. But Spiral, I think, has really good timings. He was in the main when the Sanctum was coming up. He's here with the Wolf now when the expansion's coming up. He knows stuff, like, immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty small map. He always likes to send a few, or like one wolf to certain locations just to make sure, like, is he going for the expo or not? Is he gonna just creep it, or is he gonna be, or will he be there with a couple of peasants to make sure that he will get that kind of information if he's going for the expo or not, and he will value or figure out what to do after that. So he just noticed that he's going for the expo. I think he will try to make sure that he will get the most important item potentially out of this map, which is unfortunately the WaN of Mana Stealing, but maybe right now not even the worst item, but still like a big mana potion or something could have been much better, obviously.
True. I think if you have a melee hero like the Mountain King and you play a melee hero like the TEC, the WaN of Mana Stealing can be pretty good because you're always in range and can use that, especially with a spell like Clap, who's that damn good. So before we go into the first encounter here. Oh, okay, ThorZaIN cancels it immediately. We do have a few supporters. Thank you, just another Grats for the 1000 bits. Nice Chain Lightning Storm combo. That's gonna be an all kill against these peasants right there. So Expo plans most likely cancelled. And Stars and Stripes with 666 bits as well. Boom, boom, boom. X-Lord.
This once again was a bit of a tactical expansion. Yes, you lose it, but it gives you map positioning kind of that could be used now by ThorZaIN to creep up the map. But instead he is pushing into spirals. Main burrows here without reinforced defenses are going to die very quickly to these rifles. But first it's going to be ThorZaIN TPing back actually. That really surprises me. Or was he just counter TPing?
No, he was the first, right? And then Spiral TP'd back. It seemed a little premature by ThorZaIN.
That was a little weird. Okay. Alrighty.
A player's forces are under attack.
So he did lose quite a few resources for this expansion, right? He put like maybe 500 in, got like 250 back. The tower there as well is an expense. But the MK, that's the most important thing, right? The MK needs to start getting levels. Needs to get level 3, rather level 4. And on Echo Isles, that's never really that easy. Not too much experience on this whole map.
Yep, but he also found the potentially one of the best items from the Merc camp, the Pendant of Energy. But Spiral with a really nice timing, make sure that the MK won't get closer to level 3. Spin Link getting casting already to make sure that he will not take too much damage. Oh, that stomp. Almost hitting like everything there.
Triple kill to open up that fight, and the fourth one is coming as well. Mountain King not doing too much. That clap hit, but I feel like not too much. The stun in the back was way better for Spiral.
Oh, and the next
another one. Like, he stops this militia chain wave like right behind it. Damage is done, but will the TC survive?
Stormbolt
Can't
is ready.
get in front. Needs to use that spell.
I think Spiral should get out. This is, of course, the nice thing about this meta nowadays. No slow to worry about, so you're not going to fall into the Sorceress trap. You can just walk away easily with that Endurance Aura.
A player's forces are under attack.
MK is still level 2, but that should be pretty much it for in a few seconds, probably after creeping these 2 spots, because he will most likely try to finish the Merc camp, because he hasn't trapped the Wizard so far, I think. So there is still a good item coming for him, if he's lucky. Maybe even a bad one, but yeah.
I like the min-maxing on ThorZaIN. He's got the pendant on the AM, so the MK is regenerating more mana. And later he's going to be giving the pendant over. And then have plenty of claps, hopefully, as finally he does get level 3 Mountain King. He would love to have level 4 AM as well, but that is rather far away.
Yeah, especially on like small maps like these. So as you can see, like Spiral already crept the top camp, for example. ThorZaIN made sure that he's getting his spots on his side, so they're both making sure that their heroes are quite leveled, maybe get a couple of nice additional items. But for now, on these 2-player maps, such as Echo Isles, for example, now there isn't really that much to creep. So once you hit like tier 2, tier 3, depending on the matchup as well, you will rather see fast aggression, because there isn't really much to creep anymore. Maybe try to make sure that you win sometimes very exposed, so you can set it up behind, put some pressure onto the enemy space. And there's also just one shop, so sometimes you will see people fighting for it because of the heal scrolls, and ThorZaIN is definitely in need of that due to the stomp chain combination. And so far, it looks quite equally to me, even though Spiral has the better hero level so far, 3, 4, which is also kind of rare to see, but here and there you see the second hero for the Orc a little bit higher than the first one.
Mana pot now for the TC as well. Good Peon Scout, Peasant Scout, sees the Orc army coming in. The question is, does he have pillage, or is he only going to remember it once he starts hitting the building?
I have my look on the stronghold, man. We'll see about that. But yeah, the level 4 TC, I think, makes a pretty big difference. But ThorZaIN knows, of course, reacts to this, so we will not get the answer if there's pillage or not. But Spirit Link is applied to pretty much everything. 56 supply, but he's not really willing to commit to this fight. We have 1 heal scroll, 1 mana potion on both sides, actually, plus an invul on that TC, so he's not falling victim to the Stormbolt. So yeah, TP forced, nothing else lost. Once again, a favorable trade for Spiral.
So far, yeah. He lost the TP. He's making sure that he's gonna get another scroll. That should be up pretty soon, like in 20 seconds, most likely. So they will both sit on at least 1 scroll. Spiral still has the better hero so far, level-wise. Even though ThorZaIN already has like 1-0 units tagged. We see no Warmill so far in Spiral space, so that means he will stay on 0-0 for some time now. But I don't really think that he will get an additional Warmill anytime soon, since people don't really go like for Kodos in this matchup, especially with this kind of unit composition right now.
Second speed heal scroll he gets though, and a little bit scary. MK was really close by. That could have been a little dicey.
Yeah, Invu for the MK, he even has a potion of mana, so there will be... I think he went for level 2 clap, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we will definitely see some nice claps here into the Orc army.
Stormbolt first to focus the TC a little. Here we go, first clap. When will he follow it? Nice block by this Mountain King to prevent the TC from diving into the army and use the Storm. So Spiral moving back a little, equal supply. Again Stormbolt, again preventing the stun. Good kiting so far. The stun only hit 3 units, but in the middle of everything is this Mountain King who has to go for the invul first, both at the same time. Is it finally time to diminish the damage with the Storm? No, the Rifleman's still unaffected. He has only 1 target, and that's the MK. Big hatred against this little dwarf, but will the TC fall victim to a chain lightning? TC falls first! Oh no! And ThorZaIN is saving his second hero. That dude is so safe right now. And yeah, Archmage rises up to level 4. How is he supposed to win this without the level 2 hero? GG! He thinks it's not possible at all.
Dude, this was just like Focus versus Romantic earlier today.
Absolutely.
Exactly the same. Gets greedy with the hero kill, overextends, and then Clap owns him.
Yeah, if that MK goes down, it could actually go easily for Spiral's favor or in Spiral's way. So he could have won that fight with no MK.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just like fights actually go. If you lose your hero and you can't kill your opponents, fights go like that, unfortunately, in Warcraft 3.
Very wise words by the expert, the analyst right there. I think a lot of orcs overestimate their damage and focus on the Mountain King, which is rarely working.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to Spiral with that as well, because I remember, like, this was like a few weeks ago where you guys, or I think it was you knew, where you said like, I'm not sure like which players were playing against each other, but it was also orc against human, and you actually said that orcs shouldn't focus the MK in the first place, right? I think that was like your words.
Could
if
be.
you remember.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Like I actually thought about it because usually or in a normal situation that's actually true because a tank is just a tank, so you should just be there to tank the damage. But at the same time, the Mountain King on level 3 with level 2 clap is just so much of a game changer in my opinion with Blizzard, especially with Blizzard. But the level 2 clap is just such a big deal that the tank is not only a tank but also a damage dealer. So I can totally understand that orcs, for example, just like right now, just like Spiral did, try to get rid of that clap so that he can just burst through the entire human army, for example, because there's no slow, there's no damage basic or area of effect damage that he has to take care of. And the rifles are just basically there for single target damage. So yeah, Spiral literally said the same. He also thinks that the MK has some more to get focused, and we just saw that, but it didn't really go into his way or favor, unfortunately.
Maybe it depends a little on the items as well. I'm not too sure about the situation.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't focus him if he has big invu and HP items like Period of Vitality or two rings, right? Yeah.
That's a big no-no then, definitely.
Yeah.
If he's naked and I think below level 3, he's definitely focusable, but that's rarely happening. Yeah. We do have some new supporters here. Thank you, Furu Katsuragi, for the 17-month resub. Whoop whoop. Go German tanks. I mean orcs. €3 donation by Welcome to Iowa. Thanks for casting today, guys. Thanks for watching, man. And Hovering Umlaut for the 4-month resub. Show me those claps. Well, you saw quite a bunch of them. Next map is the
Northern
first
Isles.
choice, exactly, of Spiral, and it's Northern Isles. Let's go.
So 1-1 now. Down to a best of 3, Neo. Oh, yeah.
Haven't heard that in a while, yeah.
I think who looked the strongest so far out of all the top orcs against high-level MK was Lin. This is already a couple of weeks back, but yeah, MK level 3 and onward with Clap is the bane of many orcs, but how Lin played around it, which was really amazing to see, was with heavy speed scroll usage, always 2 in the inventory at all times, and then using it to engage and passing by the MK, sometimes even ensnaring him to pin him down, and then run past that frontline tank and then go for the backline behind is, of course, a lot easier to say than execute. By no means is that simple to micro, but it is doable. Just gotta play like Lin, lol.
Lol.
But yeah, if the MK just gets to stand the front line and use the clap, that spell is certainly very good. According to Lawliot, it is imbalanced. Don't know about that, but it's certainly really good. But it is positionally dependent, right? So you can try to.
It will be rather hard or difficult. For example, Last Refuge, where every single corner is naturally pretty tight, pretty close. So the MK even can like block like half of the entrance. So it will be rather tough to do so. But on other maps like Twisted Meadows, for example, you can definitely do that. Even here on Northern Isle, you can actually just ensnare the MK, use the speed scroll, and just run through him. That's also doable.
Yeah, that's something. The one thing I would like to see more from Spiral is heavier usage of the speed score. By the way, we have a bit of a unusual ladder build here, I guess, with a super fast tech for Spiral. He isn't gonna go all out ladder and go into mass Windriders. That usually doesn't work against the best, so he is gonna be going for that barracks. However, delayed. Footy scouts the Farseer early and gets a bit of a scout off, not too much though. ThorZaIN also playing it safe, not going for the level 2 creep, not going for the Ogre Magi, which would expose his peasants pretty severely, only going for the green. And starts off with a nice pair of claws of attack.
Yeah, ThorZaIN also just sent the footman right afterwards to Spiral Space, so he got the information that he's going for a fast tech here. And there's basically just one thing that Spiral currently can do, and that's to just put the pressure up once again on the Archmage, maybe on the Echo base of ThorZaIN. He still hasn't teched yet, so he's still stuck on tier 1 so far, while Spyro's already halfway through it. And I'm wondering like what kind of hero or unit choices he's gonna go for after this game. If he's maybe going for the Shamans now, or will he go for air with that fast tech?
Yeah, I think I prefer the Walker play just to protect the TC. If you don't have Spirit Link for him, he can have a really tough time just staying alive in a fight.
Yeah, kind of depends a little on the items you find, but we won't see too many items on Spiral's side. We also don't get too many kills here. Interesting Arcane Tower position, right? I haven't seen that too much. Basically unkillable
Forces are under attack.
from melee range at least. Buying some time for the Flash Eater creep. That will be his first experience in case ThorZaIN is not sniffing this out. Oh, he is, but a little too late.
Pretty slow early game, I think, is exactly what Spiral wanted here. He took a tiny bit of a risk by not having any grunts. In that case, something like a Burrow push to delay the second Burrow can be really scary, but this is a large map. This is rather unlikely to happen. However, with the superior footy numbers, creeping should have been easier to do for ThorZaIN, but he's still not even level 2. And this is starting to get annoying. You want to get that aura usually as quickly unlocked as you can.
Yeah, so Spyro reached tier 2 already, going for TC second. Nothing surprising here so far, I think. But so far we see no tier 2 buildings until yet, or now. We got a Spirit Lodge once again.
Nice.
And so far nothing else, since he doesn't really have the resource for a second one if he wants to go for one. And yeah, they keep hitting each other a little bit with their first heroes, while Spiral might get the upper hand out of it due to the two wolves just 8-teching the Archmage. And Spiral will secure actually the other part of the creep, so getting a little bit closer to level 2, but compared to ThorZaIN, still a little bit far away.
I think
and
it's
yeah, so far still one building.
Exactly. First and foremost, to keep the Archmage away from level 2 and not give him that super easy creep thingy there.
Yeah.
The first time that we see Spiral today with the Spirit Lodge, we'll of course see Shaman. Purge really, really good against Water Elementals. Lightning Shield really, really good against everything else, especially on a TC if he's a little tanky.
And Spiral is aiming for the Expo here. Huh.
Yeah, it's a safe, almost safe level 2 spot here. I mean, he also sent his wolves bottom there, so he can tank some damage or deal also more additional damage at the same time. While ThorZaIN just secured his level 2 that he definitely needed for the Brilliance Aura. But yeah, TC will get that level 2, so he will go for probably Stomp. I mean, I saw him playing Stomp with that strategy most of the time. I don't really think that he's going for Wave.
Yeah, it's Stomp.
Okay. And he's actually going for that early tier 2 expo. So just like on Echo Isle, while ThorZaIN tried to expo on tier 2, Spiral is basically doing the same thing now.
Tier 3 rush by ThorZaIN, dude.
Whoa. What? Who is playing tier 3 against Orc as a human?
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Maybe he knows that Spiral plays these kind of things with Shamans, because I think he still maybe got his mate up in his mind, which was Effect a couple of weeks ago. They also played on Northern Isle. And Spiral has always been playing this same strat over and over again, so just like Neo said, sometimes you get too predictable. Maybe ThorZaIN thinks that Knights might be a great addition because of high HP unit, high HP pool. Maybe they will tank some more damage to the Lightning Shield, Storm, stuff like that. So might be quite interesting to see what he's going for. I mean, he has the blacksmith, so he is ready for knights after hitting tier 3. Maybe he will go for paladin, maybe for some more protection for, later on with a level 2 and aura, maybe. Who knows?
ThorZaIN did see the expansion, but isn't going south just yet to cancel. It wants to creep up a little bit more. AM is almost level 3. MK found Greater Invul, and now the Claws +9. Pretty good drops here for ThorZaIN.
Machine gun Archmage.
He did see the Great Hall, didn't he?
Yeah, he was there with an illusion. He definitely saw it.
It was nighttime, but he should have seen it still, I think. He can't let this come through. Like, this is the big weakness of org expansions. It take forever. This should absolutely be getting cancelled. Especially when there's no ensnare to worry about.
Yeah, definitely. And he's still stuck on 2/2 heroes, so not really a big threat, but the army composition right now is definitely a little bit scary, I would say, with these purges where you can make sure to at least snipe a couple of units out, and even the lightning shields, since he has no... okay, he has this build, but only one, I think, so far, because due to one priest. Not quite sure if he can even take that fight. He can try to get rid of the expo, but that will be way too late now, because that will be done in time once he gets there. And yeah, seems like ThorZaIN is making sure that he gets a level 3 second hero, maybe before the push to his expo.
Yeah, the Blood Mage is coming.
Ooh, that's pretty cool against the TC. Siphon him, so he has less mana. And of course the TC has to run in close range. But I think this was a big mistake by ThorZaIN. I think after the Ogre Magi creep, he should have skipped the lab and go for the cancel first. Because, yeah, now it's too late. He does have level 3 MK, though. He has the Book of the Dead, which could be nice if there's not enough purge anymore.
Yeah, you don't want to use your purge for the skeletons, right?
Yep. I don't know. I think you really don't want to spend like all 6 purges or 5 now to all of these skeletons. But also kind of a small mistake by Spiral, I would say, by creeping the whole spot with just both heroes right now. So, well, ThorZaIN didn't really took the fight, but after all, I think that Farseer could have been level 3 already.
And ThorZaIN seems to be in an all-in position. Like, he can't counter-expand. His tech on one base was too expensive. He doesn't really have the lumber. If he waits a little bit longer, he could counter-expand, but is that even feasible? Spiral's Expo is going to keep on running. Spiral is going to go into upkeep here very, very shortly, I can only imagine.
Yeah, and army-wise, he will just overwhelm him afterwards once he starts going for the expo.
Spiral constantly sends out these illusions to scout. There's no knights coming. There's no Griffin Aviary. So he basically went tier 3 for the Blood Mage and in a fire.
Actually. Yep.
Yeah.
These priests are going to be pretty low mana, though. It's only 2. Don't even have... Okay. Let's see how this goes. This is basically all in by ThorZaIN.
Lightning shields already. At only 2. But that's so much more lightning shield. He can't dispel against all of that. If the TC reaches the backline with Stomp and lightning shield on him.
Yeah, well, he knows that the reason why he went Inner Fire is basically because he knows he was going for Shaman, so he has only single target dispel.
True.
So
lots of purge. Nice stun. Here comes the lightning shield. Siphon mana has been used, but not too much stun. Once again, doesn't hit too much, but this Mountain King focus works excellent this time. Revenges himself with a collapse, both the beast being used, and Spiral has to step back a little.
Oh, that stomp.
That hurts so much.
And even a nice Illo block.
Chain lightning there, a little bit of healing for this Blood Mage, but he's being purged so many times. Oh my god. And stomped to death. Lightning shield everywhere. ThorZaIN down to 55. He has the tech advantage, but everything's falling apart. The chain lightning, little lucky that it went into the north instead of to the south. He'll scroll on Spiral side. Man, he's chewing through this like through warm butter, which is disgusting, but you know, easy. And yeah, these riflemen in the back again. Chain lightning. And the TC level 4 can catch up now with the aura if he wants to, and the rest of the army looks super healthy as well.
And if he doesn't pay attention, he might even lose the MK, but nice TP transfer in the last second. But yeah, at this point, it's really hard for ThorZaIN to come back after this fight. He lost so much army.
Yeah, he lost
compared
the game
to Spiral.
When he crept the lab. I'm pretty sure about this. Maybe the illusion actually did see the expansion. Maybe he didn't see it because of nighttime, or maybe he thought he was gonna have that strong power spike, but
It wasn't good enough.
much,
in the
and that
end.
inner fire
Yep.
didn't do much either.
Yep. I know he's 1 base behind, basically. I mean,
Also
he will try to get that scroll, but yeah, it won't change much.
He gets it at least. No TP anymore though. This will take some time. Oh, wait, actually, he doesn't have that.
He didn't even get a scroll,
No.
right? Because he just saw that it's sold right now. Because
Farsia
Spiral
has
got it.
Exactly, Farsia has it. And yeah, no
And a
TP. This is such an all-in, but with what?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only play he has, right? A desperate counter expansion could be the other attempt, but that's probably has a lower chance of working, I guess. So here we go. ThorZaIN down here without a TP. This AM could die very easily.
TC won't get level 5 with this, but level 2 Chain Lightning is ready. He got rid of a couple of peons and Spiral is supply stack now. Maybe that is buying some time, but he needs to scout when Spiral is coming, right? And just try to leave.
Well, he could have also just go to the main base because he knows that he's 1 base. He has the 1 base advantage, or 1 more base advantage. But it seems like he's trying to defend it. But the question is at like what cost? Because he is probably not. He's not gonna lose that expo because otherwise, ThorZaIN will lose everything.
And that is most likely what's happening here. Wolves with Lightning Shield, TC with Lightning Shield, Storm, but on the Archmage. Remo called it. Invo Potion swapped and gets it last second, but the Blood Mage is not that happy. This big axe decapitates him. The Priest in the north, okay, getting rid of a little bit, but that's about it. Oh, that was a little too early for that Storm, but ThorZaIN taps out. 2-1 for Spiral.
The play there shows us a different strategy, the super fast tier 2 tech with the slightly greedy expansion, but if it comes through, it's a game winner. And I'm still baffled that ThorZaIN didn't cancel it, but that's how it goes sometimes.
I guess that tier 3 tech didn't really work out at all. I mean, he went for fast tier 2 expo so that he can go for it early expo, probably with a TC, early Spirit Lodge and stuff like that. I mean, in the end, he ended up having like 6 grunts, 7 grunts. That's what he usually goes for against rifles. But yeah, the tier 3 tech, I don't know if it was worth it just for the Blood Mage because he didn't really have an impact at all, I would say.
Yeah.
And the inner fire, well, didn't really change too much, I would say, especially if you're like 1 expo behind.
Yeah, that Blood Mage would have been much better if it had just been 2 rifles instead. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really didn't come together. The game plan there.
Yeah, it feels like
didn't work out.
Going off meta against Spiral doesn't really work. Like, ThorZaIN tried it twice and he got beaten fairly easily, I would say. Yeah? No? No? Yes? No? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, guys.
In my opinion, just pretty questionable builds on Terrana stand, as well as here now on Northern.
I think that's weird because that was what made ThorZaIN so strong, these surprise elements.
Definitely. The question is Spiral actually prepared for that?
Apparently it is.
I mean, I gotta ask him after the game if he did expect him to go tier 3. I don't really think so that he did expect that. Because you really, really rarely see that in human against orc.
Yeah,
but also, like,
3, you could have just counter expanded, and I think the higher you get, if you place 2 base versus 2 base, mass rifles are probably gonna be better the later it goes, right? The higher the rifle numbers get, the more quickly you can snipe out the grunts. Then again, though, you prolong the game, and giving a free level 5 to a TC is always scary.
Yeah.
So hard to call, I guess.
So ThorZaIN is not here yet.
yeah.
Do you think this is a best of 3?
Well, from the map vetoes, you should know that it's only best of 5.
Is
Oh,
he
that
even
is-
online? Let's see.
He's in Discord.
Because he's not online anymore in BattleNet.
Maybe rage quit and has to restart Warcraft, but that should be done.
Maybe
need
he's
to
just
eat
returning
them.
the favor.
I think
Need
that
to restart the router, please.
he was a little angry with Spiral taking so much time, especially after the first win. But yeah, maybe resetting his mind a little. We'll see.
So, what are actually the next big tournaments coming up? Any kind of big offline tournaments in the future that you both are heading to?
No, man. I mean, WGL finals will be late November, early December, most likely. But that's all I know. I had
Yeah, well,
some...
I've heard that Todd said on his stream, I think, that there will be no Iron Couch 2. I think that's what I've heard multiple times now.
Okay.
Yeah, I like a couple of weeks after Iron Couch, he said that it's kind of hard to find the sponsors for that. So I don't know. Maybe he gave up of the idea of making a second one, but it doesn't really mean that there will be like no second Iron Couch. I mean, Todd did organize the whole event with Take, I think, but if someone else is maybe able to somehow attract more sponsors or whatever, then I still see some potential, especially with Reforged. No,
Absolutely. I mean, we had a great year with offline events so far, with the Iron Couch and the MTW event, which was great. And of course, the event in Osnabrück right now. So this is already such an improvement towards last year, and really cool for the scene to get together.
I think throughout the last years, it has been also quite interesting to see like the player base. So the European scene for many years now has like always been heavily, how do you say, like a lot of Russians actually still participated in tournaments. The player base in general from Russia or Ukraine has always been quite big, but that has, I think, even back in the prime time of Warcraft 3 has always been the case that Russia always had a lot of players. So I'm looking for the forward to the future. Like if Russia has like something more to come for future for more tournaments. I know that Ivan, aka 100kg, I spoke to him a couple of times in Moscow. Also, shout out to Ivan again if you maybe will see the VOD. He took really good care of us and made sure that everything works fine for Enta and me as for us foreigners in Russia.
Could you join the game, Juan? That would be outstanding.
Yeah, sure. I thought ThorZaIN is still not here.
No, he's ready. Yeah, I totally agree. Hopefully, for offline events, you always need sponsors because the production costs quite a bit more than an online tournament, of course. So maybe if some guy out there is pretty handy in approaching sponsors and selling stuff, hit us up. So 2-1 for Spiral. It's match points. He could go into the winners group alongside Happy, who defeated Side earlier today. And the maybe deciding map is Amazonia. ThorZaIN in the red in the upper right. Is he falling again to an Oceanus player? Spiral in the bottom left for Germany and the Orcs. And most likely a Farseer again.
Am I lagging or is Neo lagging?
I think I have like a roboter in my room.
Okay, maybe it was me.
I think you're lagging? Or is it Discord? I don't know.
I'm not quite sure. Like, you are lagging as well a little bit, but not as much as Neo, actually. I'm not sure, like, if I'm clear to you. Like, on any of you?
Yeah, you're pretty clear. Maybe it's Discord.
Okay. Then it...
Neo, shut up!
Yeah.
So, map number 4. No, Neo, please talk to us.
Okay, is it better now? Hello?
It is better now.
Yeah,
Good.
It's better now.
Cool.
So, Amazonia
get out of the fridge.
Farseer time again. I can only imagine. This is Spiral, after all. And here it is, Farseer. For the 4th time. Archmage, of course, for ThorZaIN. I usually always like AZ for humans, as it is so hard to prevent level 3 here. If the human has a good creep route, if he's moving across the map, well enough, then normally level 3 AM can't really be prevented too easily. And we all know those level 2 water elementals are great, be it for aggressive purposes against the orc main or just for creeping. Makes everything so much easier. And yeah, he's been suffering with levels pretty hard in the previous game, especially early on. But AZ...
I think my co-casters just froze. And they're gone for the moment, but this will get better. I promise you that. It's the early stages, no problem. Farseer is out. Thank you, cute gamer girl, for the 4-month resub. All the gamer girls say tee. And yeah, creeping starts again with a lightning shield. No! He fucked it up! He gets the perch on the wolves even! Oh no! That's pretty bad. That will... Oh my god. This footman is here to harass as well. It's gonna be a ton of damage for the orc army. And ThorZaIN knows. And this next creep spot is also aggroed. Footman not here for the steal. Oh my god, more perches. That's the third one! It's an utter disaster. I will just try to call my boys again. But yeah, that is definitely a disaster.
I think we're all just solo casting and nobody realized that we weren't in the same call anymore.
Cool. Okay, I did the best job, so I streamed my casting, and it's, yeah, not the greatest early game for Spyro.
What happened?
Definitely.
What happened?
See what happened now because of the Discord.
Yeah, I was tapped out. So he got the Renegade, but didn't get level 2.
He didn't get the lightning shield. His wolves got purged 3 times. He's not level 2. That happened.
And he probably spent a shit ton of mana.
That is absolutely correct. Almost a surround here. He's getting quite some experience with these water elementals, but actually not too much, right? Didn't he get the last hit? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It's only the 92 from the Renegade.
Yeah. Wow.
A player's forces
Renegade?
are under attack.
That puts ThorZaIN in such a good spot. How far is the tech actually? Once again, half attack. Roundabout.
Yeah, still, well, tech-wise, still better for the orc, but if you compare the early game to the last game, for example, it definitely looked much, much better for Spyro compared to now. Especially level-wise, he's still 1.5, while ThorZaIN is on his way pretty soonish to 2.5, maybe, depending on what kind of spot he will take as a next spot.
I'm really surprised he's not in the militia creeping the Murlocs. This is something we usually always see during the tech.
Maybe he's too afraid to get scouted, but yeah, due to the poison. But I don't really think like even if he would do that, there's too much of pressure where you shouldn't do that at all.
Yeah, usually there's not too much of an easy punish. Like it's even if Grant does scout this, you can just send them back. You know, maybe he's not thinking of it right now. But yeah, AZ is normally the map where level 3 AM is the easiest to achieve, but it's not working out, man. He's still really far away, and he's definitely not going to get level 3 at this point by the time Tier 2 rolls around. Tier 2 finish for Spiral. We have the TC coming, and going back to the totem.
Yeah, ThorZaIN's still close to Spiral Space. I wonder if he's trying to cancel the Tier 2 buildings now, because he's somehow moves his Archmage like that, being a little bit shady towards the Orc base, but yeah.
Could have been creeping the green camp. I think that's what he should have done.
Yeah. Maybe he's a little bit too afraid to get still pushed in his base. I mean, he got the information that Spyro is in the middle. And even Alchemist second. Interesting choice. Ace bomb first. Hitting actually like 4 units, 2 summons, 2 burns.
We saw that Alchemist failing pretty hard earlier today by Romantic versus Focus. Just thanks to that game, I'm not so much of an Alchemist fan anymore.
Yeah, good evidence, man. But yeah, I feel with the Alchemist you have to push fast because it doesn't really scale well into the late game.
Yeah, especially compared to a King. If the only kind of damage you have to deal with is Shockwave and Chain Lightning, and you're going Mass Casters, I think Alchemist can actually be really good, but he's going... Oh, he is going Mass Casters. Oh, it is. Okay, he's going away from Rifles now. Back to Mass Casters. Okay, then I see more value with this Alch. Get a big breaker front line, heal him up, heal him up, heal him up, and survive the orc's damage, and then make use of slow and over time grind him out.
Yeah, especially if he gets him somehow to level 3, make sure that he gets a level 2 healing spray then to back up all of his casters.
So
Yeah, they're both fighting here in the middle. Yeah.
what's the reason for not going Rifleman this time? Is it just... It's not map depend... Oh boy, these bashes.
Oh, the bashes!
He could have even surrounded the faster.
Oh no! Spiral Man, really?
What?
Not too much.
What? He's got an acid bomb.
Absolutely, acid bomb and high damage roll, I guess.
Yeah, well, he got the claws +6. If he wouldn't have had it, I think he would have survived at least 2 HP, but I think the acid bomb would have triggered it anyways afterwards.
Oh man, nothing is really going his
Dude,
way.
those bashes. Kobold, man.
Yeah. Pretty,
Does he have
pretty
Stomp or
tough
Shockwave,
hold.
by the way?
What?
Does he have Stomp or Shockwave?
He has nothing.
Okay. Because you definitely don't want Stomp against breakers.
A player's forces are
Definitely
under
not.
attack.
I mean, he has to go Shockwave and hope that that's enough damage.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really scout ThorZaIN's base yet, so
Yeah.
I don't
But he sees the
think he
sorcerers
knows that it's double cane.
Yeah. Now we should know. With the sorcerers.
Oh, nice speed scroll catching that sorceress.
Not
Guess
dealing
that rally
with
point messed it a little bit up to the Archmage when he was in front, making sure that the Alchemist gathers the experience just by himself. And yeah, we see that healing wave now, making sure that everything is getting green.
A player's
And yeah, well, level-wise, it's... Oh man, it's so big. Holy crap. Almost 3-3 against 1-1 hero levels.
And ThorZaIN is pushing. This will not be a good creep spot for Spiral at all. But okay. Has the sixth sense of not starting this too early. 2 walkers is a decent amount of dispel, but yeah, this acid bomb, I'm still a big fan of that spell, man. It has so much impact every single time. And he's not that far away from level 3, so it's not getting better. And another town pole, that's an easy big spot for ThorZaIN now.
That's level 3 Alc. That's so good. And
Level
with a level
3
3,
Alc,
perhaps he can even hope to go for the natural. But actually, Spiral is coming in again. He's feeling bold. So maybe now it's time for ThorZaIN to TP out himself. He's in a very bad position. Wants to get the Renegade first, and then it's time to leave.
Oh, that I...
How
Yeah, the
good
Lionhorn
would
is
have
so
the
good.
would the Lionhorn have been on Spiral's side?
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
But you see, like, if you do these small improvements for, like, items that used to be, I would say, even quite useless, like, everyone sold this item back in the days when it was just only +1 armor. But nowadays, everyone, I think, like, I haven't really seen many people selling it nowadays, but the improvement of this item has been significantly
Yeah.
player's forces
much
are under
better
attack.
now compared to, like, to the old days with just giving +1 armor. It's really
One of
crazy.
the best items there now, and it's kind of like always good. You can always use armor, you know.
Yeah.
Final level 2 for Spiral's heroes. Greater inroll for him. Would have been good against the Mountain King. Against the Alchemist, not going to be too impactful. Probably. Did ThorZaIN get a new TP? He did, so he won't be overextending here most likely. Wants to rotate out of these footies, though. They are not that useful anymore now.
Yeah, so Spiral tries to make sure that he somehow can catch up and catch up with the hero levels of ThorZaIN's, but he knows of that. He's a clever man. He's a doctor.
Yeah, on this map it's so hard to catch up.
Understands the game. Yeah.
You can't really dodge fights on a small map like this. Raiders falling, TC comes in, but yeah, these two water elementals alone. 56 supply against 50 by Spirals. Good, the spells though. Oh, no splits at all. A little bit of a blunder for ThorZaIN here. TC getting kind of close-ish to 3. And Spiral backs out of that fight, still with the better economy.
Still not a single breaker so far from ThorZaIN. Ah, there we go. The first 2 raiders, breakers in the middle. You also broke upkeep a couple of seconds ago. Went over 50,
A player's forces are under attack.
clearing the last creeps of this merchant. Well, finally at least 1 hero is finally level 3 for Spiral
Yeah, I think it's
after
the
like
most
11 minutes.
more important one there. He has a mana potion, heal scroll as well. Double heal scroll, actually.
So he's well prepared, but hero level wise, it will be definitely a tough task here to somehow win this or even.
Yeah. The longer this goes, usually the better it is for the human.
Yeah.
Once we have these mass breakers, it's so hard to do with them. Even with a strong Blade Master, it's not easy, but no Blade Master here at all, obviously.
Another nice stomp, even though like most of them were peasants, but still quite important.
There was a speed scroll committed though for basically only one sorceress. Some peasants might be falling, but that doesn't matter too much. Casters separated into the bag, wanting to stay away from this TC, but now they're coming back in. It's kind of a little bit weird here for ThorZaIN. Wow, that stomp hit literally nothing. Good bait by ThorZaIN, I guess.
Yeah, also nice micro. You can see that like all of these grunts are dying in a second. It's also due to the ace bomb and slow effect. Watermint is hitting every single target, while ThorZaIN is microing his casters really nice away from the TC, so that they won't get affected by the stomp. He can get all of these heals out, all the slow effects. As you can see on the TC, once again getting slowed. He still has the scroll of healing, but well, even if he uses it, I don't think it will really matter that much right now. He still has almost 3-4 more stomps left with that mana potion. Nice hit, actually.
And that stomp hit absolutely everything right there. Yes, yeah, as you said, the mana potion again stomps the entire army. It feels like, is it even a big help? I'm not too sure.
Well, for now, definitely not, because he lost all of his grunts. His Raiders has to go back anyways. He will lose another one. Alchemist will hit level 4, get some more mana, so even one more healing wave or acid bomb ready.
I think it delayed the inevitable, but not too much more.
Also, Spiral kinda not really paying attention to fast here. I think if ThorZaIN noticed that a little bit, he would have casted slow on it and maybe surrounded it, since there's no TP, no items at all. And he just ran through that entire human army.
Alright, still 50 supply by ThorZaIN, couple of losses. I think Spiral did better than expected.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks to the great storms he had, and he burned through a lot of items as well. Double heal scroll gone, mana potion gone. So ThorZaIN is backing up for now, almost equal supply.
The natural will get the level 4, but with the creep jack coming in, this could very well be another TP forced. How greedy is ThorZaIN for this item?
Archmage is getting boulder tossed as well. Acid bomb hits, but there's no backup. No TP out. That means Spiral gets the big consumable. And a lot of experience.
Even secured a level 4 TC, actually.
This is a big mana. Oh man. Big mana potion ruining games again.
Nope.
Scroll of the Beast.
There's not too many priests. But what is there for damage, really? Not too much.
You can steal it with the breakers, though.
Yeah, and well, he actually got 4 priests and Dispel ready, so in this case, most likely not a really good item, unless he gets rid of all these priests in a short second, but still there are like 3 breakers, so hard to say if that Scroll of the Beast will actually have any kind of value later in the game or in the fight.
ThorZaIN was considering they're going for the expo, but is gonna decide not to do this. It's a little sketchy. He may be at 50 supply, but a lot of that is still in peasants. Like he has. How does he still have all these peasants, by the way? He still has all... How many is this? 9 lumber workers.
He called a lot of them, and they got hit by this truck that is War Stomp, but apart from that, I guess they were pretty much left alone. Not too sure either. We get more consumables for ThorZaIN. Double heal scroll on his side now as well with an Invi potion. And the other mercenary camp goes to Spiral as well. If that's a Vamp Aura, and he has Devotion and Vamp Aura, that would be quite great.
But ThorZaIN actually got the Devotion arrow.
That is absolutely correct. That's why we have you here on the broadcast.
No problem, my man.
It's the flute, though. That's really bad.
Die Flöte. Wow, nice
La
creep check.
Flute.
Well, almost a nice creep check coming here, but Spiral is quite aware of this. Goes back, not making sure that he's definitely not getting caught off guard here.
We have another donation coming in. Thank you for Glory Heaven again with 10 euros. Amazing Warcraft. Let's go donations. Smiley face. Again, not opposed to that idea.
No adept training on the Sorks. That's
Player's forces are
just
under
slipped his
attack.
mind, right? There's not really any reason not to get it. It's great value, especially if you're at 50 supply. But seems like he forgot about this. Not necessarily even for the invis, just for the stats, it's really good. ThorZaIN's getting a bigger and bigger army though. The Breaker front line is starting to assemble. We have 4 so far and more will be coming. 2 more on the way. In fact, now from the main it's gonna make it 6. And the first stomp hits the hero, the Alchemist. And now, and now the Wolves getting stolen as well.
Oh, that is control magic, ladies and gentlemen. 3 summons at the same time on ThorZaIN's side. Alchemist at 50%. So these wolves are disappearing right now. Militia coming in. Chain Lightning doesn't do too much, actually. Still on level 1. What a stomp again in the back line. But Heal Scroll is ready. That was the second last one only. And nothing left for Spiral.
Yeah, once again, nice caster movement here. Slow on the TC.
Woohoo! The heal spray. Look at that heal spray. All the
It's so
damage
good.
immediately healed up again. In the meantime, the Raiders are falling.
Yeah, he pretty much gets 2 spells for 1, right? 1 heal spray is countering both. TC is hurt as well. Do the Breakers still have mana to take over the Wolves? I don't think so. No, he's dispelling them now. TC is actually quite hurt, but the Archmage as well. Is there a Hail Mary play somewhere? Not really. He has nothing to Hail Mary with.
Not really. Like, both heroes are low on mana now. The TC still has the big invu, but you don't want to use it in this fight anymore. And yeah, well, 20 supply advantage for ThorZaIN right now. Alchemist will hit even level 5 soonish, and
Wow.
well, there it goes for the Archmage. Another grunt will fall, and it might go slowly into a GG here for
think so too.
Spiral. And
Yeah.
we might see a last map here.
Yeah, kind of the dream going full best of 5. And yeah, running away from slow. Not the easiest task. And now 42 versus 63 supply. Shop control for ThorZaIN as well, who gets another heal scroll and still has the invul potion. So even hero focus with whatever. It's not really his thing anymore.
Forces are under attack.
I think the transition that Spiral missed here is the Wind Riders. When we see Lin and Focus playing this style, and then there's a switch away from rifles and back into mass casters, then we will see Wind Riders being played once again. But Spiral didn't do this, and he just seems to be suffering from way too little damage now in this late game.
He's
Yeah.
trying a base race, but with 1 raider only, it's not the most efficient one.
Player's forces are under attack.
Does he have village? Seems like, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, this is the best play he has. Like, he really can't hope to win a fight. It's, this is impossible.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's supply blocked now. He won't really get enough burrows up in time, and that slow is just nice dispel though. But yeah, human army is always better than your army, and that grunt will eventually die, and yeah, Spiral will be stuck in quite some low army population here compared to ThorZaIN, who can still produce more units and even go to 80 supply at some point with 5/5 heroes. So I don't really see any chance, even if Spiral would get like both red spots, which is also quite impossible, but even if you would get them, I don't really see him somehow turning this game now.
Building elimination is the one out he has here, I believe. And Invis Water Elementals are scouting for this. That's pretty cool. He did finally get the adept training for the sorceresses.
Taking some time though. Thank you, Necro LOTV, for the 8-month resub. Moin moin from Amsland. Thank you, man. Greetings.
ThorZaIN was kind of setting up a flank here. Was waiting for the army to come in, for the raiders to engage, and then ready to slow him down. Gets at least 1 raider here for his troubles. And that's it. GG. No chance anymore. And we're at a 2-2.
Full distance, guys. Oh yeah, after a clean 3-0 in the first series of the day, we're happy won. We got some extra content here from ThorZaIN and Spiral. This is what I expected. This is, I guess, what you expected as well, right? Or did someone else?
Yeah, if you mean me, yeah, I said like 3-2 for ThorZaIN, so at least it will go 3-2 for one of these guys.
That's correct.
And the last map, what do we have left?
Concealed,
right?
I think concealed,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it definitely favors Spiral in my opinion here. Concealed Hill has never been like a big human map, neither against Undead nor against Orc, I would say, even though I'm not like the Orc guy. Maybe some people who are Orcs could or can enlighten me here, but I don't really think it's like humans, I mean. But I don't really think like that Concealed Hill is a map here for human.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Kind of awkward for the AM to run around and creep beyond level 2. Orcs love stealing the big red camp boy in the middle on tier 2 with Ensnare perhaps. And an expansion is certainly not in the cards, not on this map.
Well, it's ThorZaIN. You never know what he does on tier 2 and what kind of freaky way he finds. Romantic expanded here as well. No, wasn't no, it was Sock when no one really thought that's doable, but he'd make it work. So as a super surprise element, I wouldn't say the chances for that is 0%, but yeah, it's not normal and it's not likely.
Correct. It's not reliable. And I don't like my unreliable plays, Neo. I want it to be reliable. So,
but you
we're
as
in the
a
game.
person aren't really reliable. How is that?
I don't know. I'm at the best in Warcraft, Neo.
All right.
I'm my best self. So here we go. Map number 5. Took us quite a while, but here we go. Final map of the day, ladies and gentlemen. We actually started streaming a long time ago. It didn't feel like such a long day, though. We
Not
started
at
at
all.
1.
7 hours,
So that's
right?
like, well,
That is because we have the great
7
addition
hours.
of White and Nerdy by our side.
Juan, what's your Twitter handle? Where can people follow you?
It's actually Twitter /WaN V7, I think, because wait, let me check real quick. I think it's WaN V77. Yeah, WaN V77.
There you go, guys. One of the top 3 undeads in Germany. X-Lord him and me. And Ed.
Wait, let me clip it.
Send it to Osnabrück immediately.
I'm gonna put it on my channel as a clip.
ThorZaIN coming back, defending the first match point of Spiral in the bottom left right here. Is it finally time for a different first hero? Seems unlikely. Seems to be a big fan of this Archmage, especially here. And on Spiral's side, is it the Blade Master finally? Also unlikely. So it's the old battle of Archmage versus Farseer. As old as the game itself.
That is what, like the first meta. Let's say Warcraft 2003. Juan, were you following Warcraft in 2003?
Not as much. I think I started somewhere around, which year was it? I think 2005, 6 maybe, where Matt Frog went to Korea. I think that was like the time where I started following Warcraft 3 a little bit, but before that, not so much actually, if not even at all.
Like Neo, basically. Yeah. What was the meta at the beginning?
Mass Orc casters.
Yeah, well, I haven't really seen. I think like Philbot, for example, he used to play Crypt Fiends all the time. I can't even remember like what orcs used to play against humans back then. Like it has been so many freaking years, and the meta has changed so much. I mean, there were the great days of Madfrog against Moon on Turtle Rock, where Madfrog would just produce mass gargoyles against someone who goes Dryads, Beastmaster first, and it somehow still worked. So you could see that the game hasn't really fully evolved back then.
Oh yeah, the stone form behind the base, right on the little island on Turtle Rock.
Like watching these games back then is actually so funny if you compare it to now. So yeah, the game has definitely evolved into something better.
I think so too. I mean, there's always a little romance about these days, and people glorify it a little, but man, Warcraft is in a pretty good state compared to those days, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So, especially the human meta. Like for a long time, human used to tower push every orc and every night elf, and used to expand and tanks and tower up defensively against every undead.
I've seen enough towers in my life.
I'm really glad that we got rid of this meta. Orcs they were always kind of afraid facing humans. The famous Sky Tier 2 push back then. Undeads were scared to have like a 45-minute game just to get tanked in the end. And even Night Elves actually had the same destiny, you could say. They also used to get towered by humans. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that this kind of I don't really want to call it lane meta, but more fighting meta with our normal army composition is finally shown to us.
Both players here looking towards pressuring the main. Spiral's Burrow is going to be getting cancelled. That's really annoying. That means he can't go to 3 grunts and then a TC, so he's probably going to have to cancel the 3rd grunt if Spiral hangs around here longer. So it's a bit of a game of chicken now. Who's going to TP home first? Who's going to first be the one to admit that he has to go now home defensively? And finally, it's getting punished. You guys know what I'm talking about? The opening in the main, no farm wall off. And suddenly, the Grunt and the Farseer are having a field day.
Absolutely, man. He got like 4 kills already here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Absolutely. More mana coming in. Okay, now the Archmage finally got back with the step of teleportation. He's blocked in with the Passants. But where's the damage? Spiral is losing 1 grunt for sure. And now he's walling him in. All right.
If he had TP'd instantly, perhaps he could have saved the Grunt.
Oh, why is he not going out? What is he doing?
Ah, what?
Oh my
Still
god.
Is he blocked? Wow, what a block. No.
Oh, no.
Oh my god, that was a roller coaster of emotions here.
Oh, the Grunt is blocking. Archmage still chasing. He also has the boots of speed, and there's a critter. Can he get the kill right there? The Grunt blocked by Spiral. Oh, is it enough though? Archmage still chasing, but different route. He's intercepting him here.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no.
well, he lost track, so Spiral actually has the advantage right here now. Because ThorZaIN has no idea where he's going right now. And that healing self is doing, well, as usual. A really nice job to get that HP up a little bit. Well, Spiral's actually still... Yeah.
And also then the presence of mind to change directions and stuff. That was really well done.
Yeah, and it was actually such a clever play right now by Spiral. He just got rid of the Archmage. ThorZaIN had no idea where he is. He still put up the pressure with 1 grunt in ThorZaIN's base, and he just went back immediately while ThorZaIN was like literally close to the lab of Spiral. So he lost some time, but thanks to boots, he will be there shortly. And Spiral has to make sure that he's not gonna lose faster here. But yeah, we'll TP on. But he's
save both grunts.
Close.
Nice. Dude, Spiral.
Too close to comfort, man. Raiders, like Beastery and Lodge behind this, and ThorZaIN is supply stuck. It's not like he built a couple of farms in the back of this. He is super short on lumber. He's power building the farm right now. He's tier 2. He can't even go for a second hero. This is horrible for the Swede.
Yeah, it's painful early game. The kind of early game that will make you change your build placement and wall off the main again, because this entrance was heavily punished. AM trying to get something done now, but what can he really get done? Cancel a couple of heal self, slow down the creeping a little, I guess. Yeah, but ThorZaIN is in a tough spot, no question.
Yeah, tier 2 building's already up for Spiral, getting the upgrades, first raider out, and well, good for ThorZaIN that he has no instant ready yet, otherwise that Archmage could have been even potentially surrounded. Alchemist second once again for ThorZaIN.
Yeah, Remo, what's your stand on the Alchemist now? He lost 1 game and he won 1 game today.
I think if you play him without rifles, he's much better. But he is playing it with rifles now. You could still transition out of rifles, but that's always a little weird.
Oh,
Already
guys,
invested into them.
somehow ThorZaIN is not building this farm. He's still supply stuck at 30 now. He started to build the farm. Maybe a wolf killed the worker or something. I'm not too sure. But now he's continuing it. These are mistakes that he usually doesn't do.
But there was like no low HP worker in the space, and there's like that arcane tower that is definitely in range where regarding like where that wolf attacks from. So he can always get that with the shots, and I don't really think like that wolf could have killed him. So he might have used his shift a little bit too early, like let it go. So the worker just accidentally left the production.
Come to think of it though, concealed, this map is horrible to creep for human if you just go casters, right? You can't really creep the red camp, you can't creep the fountains, and even creeping the merc camp is annoying. The natural is doable, but yeah, with rifles this is just much better to creep.
Yeah, I mean, rifles definitely have like the better DPS, so you could also set it like for every map, since rifles have, well, the better DPS.
Yeah, sure.
But
there's lots of magic immune stuff here.
yeah, true. But also with all these casters, you definitely need like bigger hero levels. For example, like level 3 Archmage, so you get that level 2 Water Elemental to get at least some more DPS out there for creeping. Well, Archmage is still close to, well, still level 2, but well, that one Ogre Warrior should seal the deal. The same for the Alchemist soonish, level 2. While
is Spiral gonna drop the base with a Zeppelin? Oh, that could be sick. With Lightning Shield against Militia and stuff?
yeah,
Does he have Lightning Shield already? Not yet, but okay, finished now. Oh yeah. Oh, I love this play if he goes for it.
because
So
that
hard to
would
scout.
actually mean that ThorZaIN needs to TP in his base to defend that. But that would also mean afterwards that he can't leave his base
Yeah.
because it's pretty much close.
Exactly, but okay, Spiral is not going for the Zeppelin, unfortunate. He's trying to break through this, which is not that easy because now it's completely walled off. But we have
nice
wolves.
wolf cast.
Exactly, and we have Lightning Shield, and that is great. He's thrown back in his economy by so much already. Does he even have a TP? Yes, he does. These wolves are raging in the peasant
boy.
line, and the altar is gone. Floodgates
Ouch.
open. Wow! Way too many kills.
He does have the Peasants still remaining to saturate the gold mine, but let's hold on here. We're going towards the Alchemist, Purge starting things off, Ensnare as well. Stomp coming in, so much lockdown against this Alch. He's gonna be forced into this in-wall potion very soon. Does so before the Stomp.
Oh my
Stomp
God.
coming out after. Only against the Rifles, but against the Rifles it's really good. And it's the Thunder God build again with the Stomp, with the Lightning Shield. So much damage from this TC tank in the front.
My god. GG by ThorZaIN. Spiral stomps him in the ground and follows Happy into the winner's round while ThorZaIN goes down to meet Side and 2 other players in the lowest round. Side will most likely be happy about that, facing a human right there, but on on some maps, ThorZaIN had just no chance, it feels like.
Yeah, well, at least these maps were Spiral Run, right? Like the first game, 6
Yeah.
minutes. This game didn't really took much time as well, like
Yeah.
8 minutes, I think, or 10 minutes, something like that now. And yeah, well, Northern Isle took a little bit longer, but the game itself looked also quite one-sided most of the time. So yeah,
This
really
is
nice
another,
performance.
like, what would you say, Juan? Is this another impressive showing of Spiral, or was ThorZaIN maybe not in tip-top shape?
Pretty much both, I would say. Spiral just proved once again that he's quite decent against human.
Yeah.
But also ThorZaIN used to look a little bit better, I think, in the past. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially on TS and Northern. ThorZaIN made it easier for Spiral than it should have been.
yeah, it looked at some point that both were playing some kind of coin flip games, especially on the first map, where ThorZaIN just went for the immediate tier 1 expo after his Archmage came out of the altar. Maybe predicted something wrong. I don't know what was happening there, but after like these 6 minutes, it definitely showed that he guessed the game a little bit wrong, I would say.
That's it for today. Neo, are you still here?
That
we
is
had
correct.
a beautiful day of Warcraft today. The W League had its first Playday. Before that, it was Shook Cup. And guess what? That's exactly how we're going to be continuing tomorrow. We're going to be back with Shook Cup at 1 p.m., just like today.
Absolutely. Before we go into tomorrow's schedule, we will show you the next week of W League Europe. We did that today. I'm not too sure how many people of you were still there. So our next day looks like this, and it's pretty damn cool. One will be replaced. That's for sure. You did a hell of a job, but we need more variety here right now. I hope we get you back, man. We have next week, next Saturday, Cash vs. Sonic as the first game starting at 5. And then the main event, X-Lord versus Hawk. And we got no Undead expert this time, but the legendary Johan Todd Mello. By our side here at the Back to Warcraft stream as the special co-caster of the week. So mark that in your calendars, August 24, 5 p.m. Hawk versus X-Lord and Cash versus Sonic. No, without jokes, Juan, that was very unusual for us to have a third guy here, but I couldn't hope for a better one than you. You did a hell of a job, my man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks
Good
to
job,
you as
man.
well. always there if you want to cast another game or like talk about certain things. I'm always there.
All right. If people want to see more of you and your games, where can they find you on Twitch?
Well, if you like first-person streams of a tier 2 undead from Germany, then it's definitely twitch.tv/WaNV7. Or if you like have Twitter, then just follow me on Twitter, which is @WaNV77.
All right. We will continue tomorrow with, as Remo just said, Shook Cup. We didn't even see who's in the semis because we have 2 semis, the game for third and the grand final tomorrow. It's going to be Sock versus Focus to start the day and Shake versus 14 Sway. Damn. Didn't expect that semi-final, but once again, European participation in Shook Cup against 2 Koreans and 1 Chinese. That's starting at 1 p.m. And afterwards, we have the great kickoff of W3IL Season 2, Team Sweden versus UMAD. So we will most likely see ThorZaIN again, and Knopf, and Effect, and hopefully the pre-match interview with Endars versus UMAD, who strengthened their lineup with Cash, for example, and quite some other players. I think Remo the Firestalkers lost ThorZaIN or so?
Yep.
That sounded bitter. So yeah, ThorZaIN is there as well. It's going to be a great clan war. And I can't wait for that. So whenever you wake up tomorrow, tune in. You will find some content here. And that's it for the day. Juan, do you have any final special words, any greetings?
No, just thanks for having me there. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, well, shout out to the boys in Osnabrück. I think Ente is currently playing against Neutron, and actually Ente took 2 maps. Like, what on earth? Well, I have to say he's like 0-15 in all competitive games against Neutron.
Oh, wow.
So that's why we
Wow.
counted every single game, and he hasn't won a single game so far against Neutron.
Ouch.
Well, yeah, once again, thanks for having me here. It's always a pleasure to, I would almost say, be on a couch. Yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe a next time, and have a nice evening.
Thank you, man. Of course. Remo, any last words from you until we see each other tomorrow again?
Check out EGG and then come back tomorrow here. You guys have a good night. Bye-bye.
Adios.